Welcome to Chapter 12, Testing Access Control Systems. Learning objectives and key concepts, mitigate risk from unauthorized access to IT systems through proper testing and monitoring. Key concepts, systems penetration testing and reporting. System vulnerabilities assessment, scanning, and reporting. Network and operating systems discovery, scan, and scope for penetration test. Purpose of testing access control systems. Testing ensures that weaknesses are found and can be dealt with before they are exploited. Tests should incorporate testing methods and different stages of development, software design, hardware development, penetration testing. Purpose of testing access control systems, boundary conditions, the outermost extremes of test environments, penetration testing, the act of simulating an attack on an organization and resources. Methods include social engineering, software hacking, and physical intrusion. Software development lifecycle and the need for testing software. Testing software. Testing should be built into the entire software development cycle. Tests allow us to know how software will perform under various circumstances. Writing test cases forces developers to think like an attacker. Test cases should be written early and often. Security features should be an integral part of each phase of the software development lifecycle. Software development lifecycle and need for testing software. Planning. Stakeholders brainstorm what the software should do. Requirements analysis. Translate goals into formal requirements. Software design. Systems architect and software engineers design low-level functions. Development. Programmers write and test the actual code. Testing and integration. Finished software undergoes full systems integration test to ensure software works together properly. Release and training. Software to deploy to produce production servers, and employees are trained on how it works. Support where security flaws are uncovered. The software development lifecycle. Planning, requirement analysis, software design, development or coding, testing and integration, release and training, support, and back to planning. Security development lifecycles and need for testing securities, initiation, acquisition and development, implementation and testing, operations and maintenance, sunset. Testing security systems. Test security systems at each point in development lifecycle. Anticipate scenarios that could circumvent the security system and build features into the system to respond. Security monitoring, incident handling, and testing. Monitoring and incident handling are day-to-day activities. Testing and upgrade systems usually occur annually. Requirement definitions. Testing and functionality of the original design. Before purchase of a new system, perform risk assessments on an old system. Determine existing major weaknesses. Development of the test plan and scope. Impact. What impact would the testing have on operation? Vulnerability. Are there known vulnerabilities to consider during testing? Breach planning. What should happen as a result of security breach? Gap analysis. In securities, is security a concern across the entire infrastructure? Intrusive version versus non-intrusive testing. Non-intrusive testing methods allow operations to continue without an interruption by the security testing team. Host discovery, the process of scanning the network to find out which IP addresses are attached to the vulnerability resources such as web servers or database servers. Port scanning, a technique designed to probe network open ports and look for weaknesses. Vulnerability assessment scanning, network scanners, host scanners, web application scanners. This is just a diagram of the Zen map configuration screen, setting up the scanner. This is a sample of the Nmap report in the Zen map. This is configuration screen. Sample of the report. The Open VAS scan configuration wizard. An example of the VAS report, Open VAS report. Unauthorized access and security breaches attack plan. 2 stages of the IT response. Incident response. Initial response to security breach. Goal is to contain a shutdown the attack before further damage is done. Cleanup. Examining a system or network to access damage. Removing software installed during the attack and looking for new vulnerabilities. Gap analysis of the server domains, typically IT infrastructure. There's a diagram of the 7 domains of a typical infrastructure. User domain, workstation domain, LAN domain, LAN to WAN domain, WAN domain, remote access domain, and systems application domain. Select penetration testing teams. Penetration testing accurate, simulates an actual attack, intrusive testing method, risky for attacking the team. Selection of the penetration team. Red team, the attackers, systems admin, external staff. Blue team, the defenders, systems admin, general IT staff. Tiger team, common type of tester, external tester, double-blind test. Performing the access control system penetration test. Technologic focuses on uncovering weakness to social engineering, planning and preparation, information gathering, vulnerability detection, penetration attempts, analysis, and reporting cleanup. Assess if access control systems policies standards are followed. Organizations should have policies and standards for access control. Policies and standards should be implemented and followed. Penetration tests attempt to uncover and exploit inconsistencies. Social engineering can be used to find weaknesses. Assesses if security baseline definition is being achieved throughout. Establish the security baseline during planning. Baseline is the minimum level acceptance security. Penetration test reveals if baseline is achieved. Assesses if security countermeasures and access control systems are implemented properly. Access control systems can be complex and misconfigured to allow false positives. Penetration tests probe to try to force a false positive. Penetration test exercises security countermeasures to ensure effectiveness. Preparing the final test report. Section 1, detailed descriptions of the penetration test team's activities. Section 2 details the vulnerabilities the team found along with areas hardened and resistant to attack. The test team final analysis prioritize of risks and recommendations. Preparing the final test report. Identify gaps and risk exposures and access impact. Develop remediation plans for closing, identifying, securing gaps, prioritizing by risk exposures. Preparing cost magnitude and estimate. Prioritize security solutions based on risk exposures. Summary. System penetration test and reporting. System vulnerabilities, assessment, scanning, and reporting. Network operations, operating systems, discovery scan, scope of penetration test plan.